because students are very at a tender age when they are getting advice from everyone. They fall out into that okay, I should not have done that mistake, or I should have done that in a way that someone was telling, because the number of advices that are coming to them is numerous, and they have to figure it out that what might work and what might not work.
But you as the coach has to make them feel comfortable that it's okay to make mistakes. How can that happen? When they are making mistakes, after you have told them that this is what you're supposed to do, slowly the awareness starts. They will start interrupting themselves, but they might use very negative words for themselves. I did that again. As a coach, you think that's alright. Not a problem. We're still in the learning phase, right? Feel free to make mistakes.
Yes. That would open a lot of space for them to clarify and redo the shortcomings again. And okay, due to that particular thing, this was the mistake. Improve it, and the next time the problem can be same, but the reason can be different.
Absolutely.
So we have to keep on correcting that. How I will become comfortable asking out that okay, I don't know this. I am afraid of talking on the stage. So what we can impart, how we can impart this information to our next generation, that it's okay to speak up and ask for a problem. Like what thing of inspiration we can give to them that they are not afraid of asking for any issue they face.
Career-wise, number one, and we've spoken enough about it, so I'm not going to elaborate, is don't hesitate to ask for help. That's number one. Number two, do what is available to you. You live right now in the world of tech. Use technology to your benefit, right? You should know the power of words. A tiny word called no is one of the most powerful words. You should know when to say no. It's very important. You should also know when to not say no, especially when somebody is coming to ask you for help.
We have always been taught learning is important. लेकिन ये कौन बताएगा कि आज क्या important है? Ever wondered how to stand out from the crowd or make a killer impression? You are in the right place. In today's fast-changing world, keeping up with market trends and personal growth is key. So let's dive deep into how you can build your personal brand and channel yourself onto right learning path. And guess what? We have a stellar guest with us today. Miss Sonia Das, a life coach, top leadership voice who has guided over hundreds of professionals to success. Here's a little nugget to get you thinking. जैसे किताब बिना पन्नों के अधूरी है, वैसे जिंदगी बिना सपनों के अधूरी है. Just like a book needs pages, life needs dreams to be completed. So kick back, plug in and get ready to discover how to turn your dreams into a reality. Let's get started. A warm welcome to Sonia Das ma'am, an esteemed practice leader, LinkedIn top voice, published author, distinguished expert in leadership development and personal branding. We are honored to have you with us today at Wooble Nexus, and we are ready to learn from your expertise, ma'am.
Thank you so much for this warm welcome. It really is wonderful to hear about what you have achieved from someone else's mouth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's start off the Wooble Nexus session with some icebreakers. What's the most creative excuse you have ever used to get out of a boring event?
I actually don't go to a lot of events. I am very boring like that. So I usually choose my social events very well. Otherwise, I am somebody who is a home person. I'm a homebody. I love to spend time with my cats and my terrace full of plants. The most creative excuse would be my cat needs me.
Awesome. So I remember while I was in college, everybody wants to go out on a weekend and spend some time outside after hostel, obviously. But we were after some experience of going out, moving here and there, we found out that home is the best place.
I agree.
So if you want peace, be at home.
Absolutely.
So I have 3 dogs. I live with them only.
See, there's nothing better than four-legged joy.
Great. So what's the most ridiculous thing you believed as a child?
I actually still believe in it.
Okay.
Magic. I swear, I believe, okay, I'll tell you what that 5-letter word means for me. I think every single person in this world is unique in their own way. I think that every single one of us has magic. And as evolved as our brains are, human beings, we are evolved creatures. When we see every single thing in nature, we will realize everything has magic. So as ridiculous as it sounds, not what we say in Hindi as haath ki safai, but I actually believe that every single one of us, every single entity in this world has magic.
Definitely. And the way things have been designed, the way things have been planned, if you sit back someday and see that how these are happening, the way our body functions, the way animals have found shelter and everything, how the earth functions, we'll definitely find out that there is someone who is doing this magic.
Nothing short of a miracle, right?
Yeah. And with this magic, what I remember one story, the mother always had a pencil which she used to give to his son on special occasions like exams, tests, and used to tell him that there is magic in this pen. And he was believing on it that, okay, if I take that pen, the marks will be good, I'll be performing better. And one day when the pen broke and he's very, he was not willing to go to the exam.
Mm-hmm.
And later on the mom tells that it was just a normal pencil. The magic was in you.
Absolutely. And Akash, you just reminded me of this movie, Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda, yeah.
Right? In Kung Fu Panda, the father, the duck, what does he say? The magic ingredient is actually, there's nothing magical about it, right? What is it? It's love.
Yes. So if you try to find out, the magic is within us.
Exactly. Wonderful story. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move to the next icebreaker question. If you had to choose a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what would it be and why?
I think one song which would define life, my life, would be John Bon Jovi's It's My Life. And there's another one which actually answers your question. John Bon Jovi, if you look at the lyrics, it's how my life is. I want to do everything the way it's to be done now, because there is no tomorrow. Who's seen it, right? But the song that I want should play every time I walk in should be Pataka Guddi from the Highway movie. Because that's the way I am. I mean, on one side I did say that I'm a homebody, right?
Yeah.
But on the other side, the moment I'm there, I'm right there, and that's who I am.
Definitely. So we have to keep a balance on both of the things. Like we get our inspiration from one, but we can't be inspiring for the same. We can be a different person.
Absolutely. So that's the song.
Okay. So moving ahead with the next question. If you could only communicate using movie quotes for a day, which movie would you choose to be your daily life script? There are many Bollywood movies which are completely centric towards dialogues. So if there is any specific movie whose dialogues you are favorite.
As much as a movie buff I am, I can't really recall.
Till you recall, I'll tell mine.
Okay, sure.
The movie Jannat, the first one.
Okay.
So it has a lot of dialogues which I would relate in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The way he plans the things, the way though at the end of the story it's completely different. But the confidence we need to build, the confidence we need to have in our daily life to build something, to grow something, I think that's important. So Jannat is one movie which I would recommend.
Fantastic. There is actually a quote by Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
It talks about defeat. I can't recall the words per se, but the meaning of the quote is that defeat will try to defeat you every day, but it can't till you accept defeat.
Definitely.
So I suppose that's something that my life is all about. You fall, you have to rise again.
Yes, that is the journey which we have to decide. And if there are no failures, there is no happiness in the success we achieve.
There's no learning. I think as human beings, that's the one thing that we are born to do. Otherwise, there is no difference between us and all other living beings. Really, that's my belief. Learning. We can learn from the different things that we do and choose not to do, right? That is what separates us from all other living beings, that we learn. And that reminds me of one other very famous song, but it's actually a phrase called Kun Faya Kun. What it means, what Kun Faya Kun means is be and it is. Let me explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll offer the meaning of Kun Faya Kun, which is you choose to be the way that you want to be, and everything around you will fall in place so that you can be.
Exactly.
It's actually, if you look at it, it's a beautiful, virtuous cycle. Again, you choose if it's going to be virtuous or if it's going to be vicious.
Yes. And I could relate two quotes from this. When we started about failures, Swami Vivekananda said that the day you stop coming across problems is the day you are not doing anything.
Yes, absolutely.
So moving ahead with the next question. What's the weirdest food combination you have ever tried and actually liked? Because there are many weirdest food combination trending, but they are not we would not try. But something which you liked as well.
I'm a purist like that. Okay, I know a lot of people will order an Indian curry with a fried rice, and I don't look down upon it. I have all acceptance that you like it, great for you, but I can't have that. But there is one combination that a lot of purists frown upon. It's the Hawaiian pizza. So pineapple on pizza.
Okay.
I actually love it. I think it's amazing how it tastes. And a lot of people are going to be like, but that's fine. I love it.
Okay. So I think it would be great. Pineapple on pizza depends upon the toppings as well. If someone is not having too spicy pizza, it would be.
So it is a beautiful salt and sweet combination, right?
Yes.
And pineapple also gives a little bit of tanginess. So
Yes, it's good.
the palate. Yeah.
The next question is, if you could swap lives with a historical figure just to mess with their head using modern tech, who would it be and what would you show them first? So it can be someone very old and they would be very new to the tech we have right now.
I have two names that are running in my head right now. One is William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
He would have then ended up not writing the way he did because he would have the tech to correct his English, which doesn't sound much like English that we know of today.
Yeah.
And the other is Vincent van Gogh. Again, through modern tech, we would have been able to cure the poor chap of everything that he faced. He had a very sad life, right? And we would have been able to help him from his mental issues through tech.
And maybe people.
And then we wouldn't have the beautiful night sky that he had painted.
Okay.
Because he had painted it at the peak of his illness.
Yes.
That's how he visualized the world. He wouldn't have been able to visualize that.
Definitely. So, if I sometimes just imagine that what would happen to Alexander Graham Bell if he sees WhatsApp today.
Oh my God.
So, I think the first time when he communicated, half of the words were not able to reach to the other end. So, and I think he all his life tried to conclude that, okay, he wanted the industry to know that, okay, this is possible. We can communicate from one point of the world to another point of world through wired communication.
Sure.
And today we have wireless, Wi-Fi, and it's equal to a speed which is around speed of light.
Yep.
We are saying. So the communication channel has changed, and the speed has obviously increased so much. And he would be really shocked to know that today we are communicating without talking, and it's instant. And we are also knowing that the another person has read the message or not.
The infamous or famous blue ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving ahead with the questions, ma'am, could you start sharing your personal journey with us? What inspired you to pursue a career in leadership development and life coaching? How it turned out to be from the corporate world of Amazon, being the talent head and the training people of different countries, how you taught them about talent acquisition, talent management, and apart from that career to being a person who is trying to teach people about life, teach people about development, how your journey has came.
Okay. I will definitely give a little longish answer for this.
Sure.
Because we are also talking to people here who have just started their careers, they have just embarked into the professional or corporate world, right? I want to tell you that it's all right to be confused. It's all right to not know your path. Till I joined my first job in 2005, I did not know what I wanted to be. I just didn't want to have a regular, mundane life. That's all that I knew. So from there on, the moment I joined IBM, which was my first company, it was IBM Dutch, which now is Concentrix. I saw my trainer right in front of me, and I was in awe of her. And it was a light bulb moment for me. I wanted to be this person. It then took me about a year and a half to get my first real role as a coach in the field of learning and development, talent development, training and development, different names, but it's all in this under the same umbrella. From 2007 onwards is when I had done everything, starting from sitting through, let's say you were my colleague as a trainer, you would be taking trainings and I would sit in your class along with the other people who were your trainees to learn from you. At that time, and I'm talking about a time where when you had a question, you did not go to Google. I'm talking about that time, right? So I would have printouts in files, and I would go through it. That's how the learning happened, right? And then slowly and steadily from one company to the other, from being a communication voice coach to being a classroom trainer to then learning not just about communication, behavior, power skills, but understanding the entire end-to-end of what training does. That's when I got into Amazon. I was part of the launch of Amazon India.
Okay.
I was the communication lead for that particular project. And then from there on, I went on to another department in Amazon. I helped set up for 5 countries, the talent development teams. It also gave me this wonderful opportunity to understand cultures, because when I used to train people under the banner, I've trained people from about 15 different countries, right? And it is such a wonderful arena for you to interact and learn from. This is not something that comes in trainings. It doesn't come as a part of your coaching. It's something that you see, observe, and learn, right? And then from there on, the 5 countries that I put together, from there on, I moved out of the corporate world for the first time. And that was March 2020.
Okay, the COVID.
Just about to start. And then what I started with at that time is people reaching out to me. And I started taking coachings for them, right? Online coachings.
It started with communication coaching, and slowly I realized that this is an area where corporates do have the means. They provide the platter for you that you can go ahead and speak to people. You can have a mentor, you can have a coach, and people take advantage of that. But there are a lot of things for which, if you go within your circle, you don't want them to know your shortcomings. And so a lot of people don't reach out to the coaches and mentors who are available for them, no matter how great they are, inside of their own circle. They try to reach for the same outside. That's how they were reaching out to me. They felt safer. And so from there on, when I moved from Hyderabad to Bhubaneswar, I carried that on. While it was in communication and behavior, I kept helping people through my coaching. The slow transition. That was the time when I sat down and wrote my book as well. This is no management guru kind of stuff book. I wrote a book of poems. Okay. It's all about my experiences. During that time, it occurred to me, and this is also something, what I began talking about, that it's okay to be confused, right? After 15 years of working in corporates and after leaving, I was still a little confused. Did I do the right thing? So I went back. Okay. I got a wonderful opportunity. But in about 2 months, I realized that maybe this is not the right time for me to go back. And I moved out again. And this time when I moved out, I did something. Here's my transition. This is something that I did which I never did in my 15 years of career. I started studying, not as a bachelor or a master's or an MBA. I really started studying to enhance my understanding of the L&D function. So I did a certification as an L&D manager. I then did a certification as an emotional intelligence and life coach. I also went ahead and became a POSH trainer and enabler. These are certifications that I've done in the last 3 years only. The only other certification which came to me on its own were those that were required in the company. So those are the other certifications. But on my own, this is when I started really transitioning and learning more about what's required, right? And then the moment I changed my LinkedIn profile to being a freelance solution provider for any learning issues that you have within your company or as an individual, I started receiving calls. So there is nothing that I have done per se from asking for work. It happened organically.
Yes.
So that organic transition, when it happened, I realized that it's a requirement. And then I've done, not just work in terms of training newbies. I call them the young minds, the Gen Zians. And I also have, life coaching clients that I do coaching for.
Great. It's really inspiring to understand the 15-year journey, the transition. I think if we deep dive into, there are a lot of learnings which we can have from these stories. We'll discuss all of this, but the journey which you talked about, the COVID period where people were reaching out to you about their communication issues, about the maybe the life issues that they are facing. What would you say, since you have already talked with people in many countries, if we talk about Indians, how comfortable are they with their communications or life skills compared to different countries?
So 2 parts to this, right? Communication and life skills. From a communication perspective, unfortunately, English is the language that is the preferred language in all corporates. And a very large percentage of people are not very comfortable speaking in English. The language. Yes. Right? And this is not about grammar, pronunciation. I'm not talking about those things. I'm just talking about this very confidence or rather the lack of it, right? The lack of confidence with the language. And it should ideally start from school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's where you build the ease with something that you want to carry for the rest of your life. When it's not there and people approach you, point one, they're not very comfortable asking for that help, because that comes to us culturally, Akash,
Yes.
that we're not a very open culture. One, to ask for help. Second, to ask for help by showing that this is my shortcoming
Definitely.
or my limitation.
And to tell someone that this is my shortcoming, I should be very confident about speaking about that problem.
Yes, to be
And-
open about
Yeah.
it, right?
And I think insecurity is something which will stop us from learning new things.
And that was my point number 3. It's a combination of the insecurity coming from the first 2 points, and somewhere touching upon a sensitive topic is ego,
Yes.
right? Even though I need help, something is stopping me from behind to reach out and ask for the help. So these 3 points, I think, I have seen people start coaching with me and they stop midway. Because as a coach, when you want them to do some exercises, they feel it's very childish,
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to change course, which is what coaches do, right? They would want to stop it altogether. So those are some things that I have seen.
So, ma'am, if I was someone who was reaching out to you to have sorted all these issues, maybe a communication issue.
Right.
So, what would you think that I should remember? Because the problem you told, the 3 problems, the ego, the insecurities, and the ease of telling that, okay, I have some problem. How would I address all this? Because we are a community where we are not accepted for our shortcomings. We are accepted for the things that we have, the skills that we have.
Yeah.
In that industry where I'll be judged upon my skills, I'll be judged upon whether I am speaking good English or not in the industry, how I will become comfortable asking out that, okay, I don't know this, I am afraid of talking on the stage. So what we can impart, how we can impart this information to our next generation, that it's okay to speak up and ask for a problem. Like what thing of inspiration we can give to them that they are not afraid of asking for any issue they face.
Akash, I'll tell you one thing. I don't think the new generation is afraid to ask for help. That's great, which tells me that the people who have raised them have fairly done a good job, right? But I'm talking about people who are in middle management right now. They have trouble asking for help. But your question is more towards, the newbies, the young minds. 2 parts to this, right? When you are in a corporate, you're working in the corporate, at that time, you have a lot of help that's available to you already. You go through communication training. When you go to the floor, per se, at that time, you have these quality checks that happen if you are in a voice-based program.
Yeah.
If you're not, let's say you are a back-end person, even there, you have email etiquette training that will happen for you. You will have meeting etiquette that will happen for you. And there your trainer, if they are good at what they do and they are internal to the company, they will care about how you're doing. And they will show or indicate to you that here is the area of improvement.
Yes.
Here is where you can improve. And here is how you can improve. Just showing you your shortcoming is not going to help you in any way. I, at that time, instead of getting all defensive, that why am I being told about what to correct, go ahead, go with the flow. That will be my advice number 1. My advice number 1 is to do with feedback. Now, we are in a world where feedback is not the only thing that managers, leaders work on. They also work on something called as feed forward. What does that mean? Feedback usually happens when you have already done something. I have observed it, and then I am telling you about my observations as to this is what happened, this was your behavior, this was the impact, this is what you can do to correct it. A feed forward is when things haven't happened. I am noticing that if you were in this situation, because of what I'm observing right now, it could affect. So I'll give you my observations and improvement points before things have happened.
So we are preparing them for the
We are anticipating
future.
and we are preparing them. So that's feedback, feed forward, which your quality personnel, your training personnel, they will do for you internally. Second part, Akash, is if you are going to reach outside your corporate world to somebody else, for example, me, for example, my other colleagues who are freelancing, you're already in the space where you know you need help. That's why you're reaching out to me.
Yes.
At that time, there's something called as a discovery call, right? That's the very first call after you have chatted.
Yeah.
To understand the need. See, it's not always that people reach out to me so they are going to choose me. It has to be a mutual handshake, right? Are we going to be on the same platform to be able to help each other? So just because somebody is taken in as a coach, it does not mean that I'm going to help you. No, it's never like that. It's always a mutual handshake. They're already in that place where they're going to ask for help. Once the handshake is done, the problems come after that. They are ready to move on. They're ready to go on that path for self-enhancement, self-progress. But you as the coach has to make them feel comfortable that it's okay to make mistakes. How can that happen? When they are making mistakes, after you have told them that this is what you're supposed to do, slowly the awareness starts. They will start interrupting themselves. But they might use very negative words for themselves.
Yeah.
I did that again. As a coach, that's all right. Not problem. We're still in the learning phase, right? Feel free to make mistakes.
Yes. That would open a lot of space for them to clarify and redo the shortcomings again. That, okay,
Absolutely.
due to that particular thing, this was the mistake. Improve it, and the next time the problem can be same, but the reason can be different.
Absolutely.
So we have to keep on correcting that. While you were talking about all this, I was going through different memories of things I have learned from my teacher. One of my teacher is Shyam Sundar Behura. He's at the Student Activity Center in KIT. While we were going through different events, he told us that when I get a call for a different meeting, I might be called as an audience. So since he is leading the department as a head, but there are different departments where he might be just an audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there he is not expected to be talking more, but he would be expecting more of listening and understanding. And from there I learned that there are different topics while we go through. I can be a leader in something, some of the topics, it might be related to tech, but I can be sitting on the back bench while I am learning about event management.
Yeah.
And that should be the openness while we are trying to learn and grow. And we should not say that, okay, I am a manager at your company, so anybody working in the position just as a junior developer or maybe someone in the junior position, I cannot learn from them. I might be good at one topic, but I should be open enough to learn different things from them.
You've said a very important thing, something that I wrote about just yesterday for Teachers' Day, is life is your biggest teacher, right?
Definitely.
And life does not have hierarchy. A baby's life is as important as your life, an adult. In my eyes, is as important as a plant's life.
Yes.
Right? And we can actually learn from everyone and everything. And this is something that I always say, a teacher is as good as their student.
Very true. And the second story which I remember, I think all the students, all the professionals who are listening to this, I would emphasize them to remember this. Steve Jobs was looking for internship in those days, and he interned at HP, Hewlett Packard. A lot of would not believe, since Apple has grown exponentially compared to HP, but it's true that HP existed long before Apple. So he did an internship at HP, and while they were trying to make the first Macintosh, they were finding issues with the PCB, which is the circuit board. And Steve Jobs just called out the CEO of HP at that time and asked that I saw that a lot of scrap PCBs are there in the company. Can I use some of them to make some new calculators? Which was true. They were trying to build the calculators first.
Right.
And he said, okay, fine. It's just a waste for us. It's an e-waste for us. Take them. And with those as the foundation, he built Apple.
Yeah.
There is a lot of contribution of that help for Apple. And when Steve Jobs was being asked that what you consider as most important thing in your life that happened, he said that there is a very important thing that we miss out to ask.
Yeah.
While you are telling that we are not open to asking about the problems we are facing due to ego or insecurities, Steve Jobs just emphasized that we should be open enough to ask anything. Either the person can deny it or they can accept it. But there is no issue if he denies. But at least we should ask for anything which we are seeking out. Until and unless we ask for someone, how can someone help us?
I completely agree with you. And there's a third point to it actually. In our world, it's fear.
Yeah.
Fear of rejection. I mean, what if I ask for help and I'm said, silly, go away?
Yes.
And then you will never have the courage to ask for anything anymore. There's something that when I'm training, I always tell them, you should know the power of words. A tiny word called N-O, no.
Yes.
Is one of the most powerful words. You should know when to say no. It's very important. You should also know when to not say no.
Yes.
Especially when somebody is coming to ask you for help and you say no. As simple as somebody says, ma'am, can we take a break, please? And you say no. That small little no, you have discouraged that person to ask a relevant question in your training ever again.
Definitely. People criticize me for not saying no, which I am trying to learn. But what I find it helps me a lot. Instead of someone saying that, okay, can I take a break for a moment? Instead of just saying a no, we can say that, okay, let's complete this 5-minute task and then
there
go for a break.
There you go. That's exactly what I say. Like, let's finish this portion and then we can take a break. Is that okay? And then I get a yes.
Yes. So I think we should balance saying no and obviously understand that what is the right time to say no. But instead of just making a wall that, okay, I can't do this, we should explain the circumstances that this is the reason why I am leading to this conclusion.
You just reminded me of this advertisement. I think it was that what will happen if you ask?
पूछने में
क्या जाता है?
I think Mentos.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Mentos.
No. It was some ad. Okay.
Chloromint has दोबारा मत पूछना.
This is पूछने में क्या जाता है? This is something to do with technology, something to do with the phone.
I remember this tagline. Yes. पूछने में क्या जाता है?
पूछने में क्या जाता है? And the moment I saw that ad, I was like, there you go. And I started quoting that in my trainings, no matter it was for, the young minds or for the leaders. Like, till you don't ask, how will you know? Because then you will be committing one of the biggest crimes in the corporate world. Assuming.
Yes.
Right? And what is the meaning of assume? Anybody? It makes an ass of you and me. If you break that down, it makes an ass of you and me. So do not assume
ask. Because पूछने में क्या जाता है?
Exactly. Okay, so a lot of learnings. We'll continue that whenever we get that moment again from your life history, because I think there are a lot of things which we can learn from that. We'll definitely dive more. Till then, we can go ahead with another question.
Sure.
What advice do you have for individuals looking out to find and choose the right mentors? What quality they should look for?
Very good question. Now, Akash, if the question is for, again, young minds, until and unless you're not sure, and if you look for people to mentor you, you will always remain in a flux because you don't know where you want to go. A coach is a better person at that point.
Yeah.
A coach is somebody who's going to help you find the way, right? For example, career coaches.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Who will ask you the right questions and then who will help you to show you the path. They're not there to handhold you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in this world is there to handhold you until you're in school and you have your teachers, right? How to get mentors, how to get coaches, you first need to get clarity of what you want to do. Until and unless you don't have that, what's the point of a coach? What will they help you with? Unless it's a career coach.
Mm-hmm.
Please go ahead and look for a career coach. Please ask them all of your questions related to, I think I'm interested in this, but I'm not sure. I think I'm interested in that. I'm not sure. They have the ability, capability, and skill set to ask the right question, use their tools and techniques to gauge where is it that you tilt, right?
Yes.
And this is not, we're not talking about 10th standard and 12th standard. Even in your first or second year of working, you reach out to career coaches. You tell them, I did engineering and then I did MBA and now I'm into advertising and I feel as if I don't know where I am. What are these people going to do? They're going to, through asking questions, they will not take your hand and say that's the way to go. Through asking the right questions, they will then let you know it looks like this is where you want to be. So one of the tools that I use when people come to me confused about where they stand in their career, they're not confused about where they are, but where they stand in their career at this point. And through the tools, we find out that they are more interested in, let's say, they're in a people manager role right now, and they're more interested through answering those questions in an IC role, which is an individual contributor, and did not know that. Or they are in a role which doesn't help them showcase their work. But they are people who are very magnanimous in nature.
Yeah.
They want to be in the forefront, but they're not in that kind of a role right now. So through these tools and techniques, psychometric tests, you can help them, right? But for them to reach out, again, the reaching out is for them to figure out, I have an issue with my career right now. I need a career coach. I'm not able to manage my life. So there are hundreds of things that I want to do, but I don't have time. Reach out to a life coach. They will help you with it. There are a lot of women who find it very difficult to, I don't like that word, but balance, life, children, marriage, work, everything. Reach out to a life coach. If nothing, they will be able to guide you if you need a life coach or you need actual mental well-being coach who is a, let's say, psychotherapist or somebody like that.
Yes.
Right? So first step is reach out. Second step is know who you want to reach out to. Right? And even if you don't, reach out to a life coach.
Yeah.
They let you know who to go forward to, because it's all about life, right?
They'll open the paths to different.
Yeah.
Definitely. So the key is to reach out to people and let them know your issues. It might be in their first year of job, second year of job, and it might also not be about the job. It can be issues with your life, handling something. And what I suggest to students who are just freshers is to experience different job roles through internships. So internships is a very good gateway to understand and experiment what they are liking and what they are not liking based upon the works that is given by the company. And in companies where the culture is very open among the people or the colleague, they would be able to have a look into what different people do,
Yeah.
because they would be able to understand what software engineers do sitting in the company, what the visual designers are responsible for, what the marketing strategies challenges are.
Yeah.
And so that when they resonate upon, okay, I can be valuable at this position, and at the same time I would like solving that problem, I think that would be one of the solutions. But this is only limited to people who have this opportunity of being fresh.
And while I agree with you that internship is something that you can do while you're still in college, you actually open the channel to speak about something else. People don't give a lot of focus and concentration on creating LinkedIn profiles from the time that they are, in fact, in college. I didn't do that because LinkedIn wasn't there at that time. But you can actually showcase everything on LinkedIn. I used to train a batch of 30, 35, sometimes 40 people, and only one would have a LinkedIn profile. And I was also surprised to see that people who did, they would have their projects listed there. Right? So when you're applying for roles, that's one of the things that helps. The second thing, to your point, LinkedIn helps you open up the channels to have these conversations, have a canned email ready to send to people in mails, or just DM them after finding out, okay, I think it interests me to know about software development, it interests me to know about business development, it interests me to know about working in this big four company. And you go find those people out, you search, right? Find those people out, write to them. And you'll be surprised how many people are eager on LinkedIn to help you.
Definitely.
They will answer your questions, at least 50% will. And they will be able to tell you that, okay, you've studied all of these things, you're working here, you're interested in this is what you can probably do. Or they'll just give you their number and say, let's get on a quick call.
Yes.
And you don't know how many channels will open up. If nothing, you've created a network, right?
Yes. So for them who are freshers, even professionals, it is very important to have their profiles either in LinkedIn or platforms where they can showcase their actual achievements.
Absolutely.
I think showcasing the projects or the challenges they have faced have always been undershadowed based upon other things. Like if someone is an acting role, they would be very open to post their stories, post the moments they had captured. But contrast to that, if someone is actually working on a challenge, solving a project, making something out of scratch, they won't be comfortable enough sharing that.
Because it's, again, there's a fear that somebody else is going to take away the credit of the work I have done.
Yes.
That's why they can't have full disclosure, right? But for most of the other things, you very well can, because I believe in the theory of abundance.
Yes.
Okay? What that means is very simple, Akash. The more you give, the more you get.
Yes.
I don't understand in this thing that I know I will not give you 100% of what I know. So what if you give all of your knowledge to the next person? They are going to take what they need, and even if they take everything that you gave them, they're going to use it and help others.
Yes.
They're not going to take away what you know. So that's exactly where the abundance mentality comes into picture.
This question and the answer reminds me of something which our community, the startup community, is always scared of.
Yeah.
So whenever we go for pitching, we want the door to be closed.
Yeah.
Only the investor or the VC should sit in the room, and we would be discussing the ideas very specifically. That okay, I want to build this solution for this problem, but I won't disclose how I am solving this. What is the issue?
Yeah.
And until and unless we discuss my approach of solution, the solution is not at all beneficial, because it's not about delivering the product. It's also about the operation which we go through inside the company.
Yeah.
So a very told quote in the last 2 years is, it's not about the idea, it's about the execution.
Yes.
So even if I am graduated from the same college where other 3,000 students are, all the 3,000 students are at different places.
Yeah.
And it's about their execution, how life led into after college, or maybe how they are learning, what they are learning, and what their aspirations are. So I think we should focus more on showing what we did, and we should also expect to learn from others' projects as well, because when we are delivering our 100% into someone's life, we are also expecting others to involve and contribute. But at the same time, we should lose that fear that okay, someone will steal my project, steal my idea, because it's all about execution that we are looking up.
Absolutely.
That's, I think, a great learning for freshers, professionals, and anyone in the creative field as well. So moving ahead with the next question, from your experience, what are some common mistakes that students and early professionals make in their career journeys? How can they avoid these pitfalls?
Contrary to belief, I don't think there is anything wrong in making mistakes. Because you said, if we don't make mistakes, then we're perfect. There's nothing more to learn. We're stagnant.
Yeah.
Right? However, the kind of mistakes that you're talking about in this world today, I'm not talking about when I was a student or when I was a young professional. Today, the world is about showcase what you do. Okay, sorry. There are two, it's a two-pronged answer I'm going to give, right? On one hand, I'm going to talk about this, but there is another side to it which I'll talk about a little later. As a young professional, career-wise, number one, and we've spoken enough about it, so I'm not going to elaborate, is don't hesitate to ask for help. That's number one. Number two, do what is available to you. You live right now in the world of tech. Use technology to your benefit, right? How can you use technology to your benefit? Starting from creating a powerful resume, and I'm not talking about paper, using a platform like, let's say, Wooble, yeah, wherein you can showcase everything the way you are. People don't have to read a 1-pager or a 7-pager. We are talking about people who can see you while you talk, right? They can read your projects. They have links to everything. Use technology. Use technology to ensure that you are never ever on the other side of the skills you're supposed to showcase. Which means today you have Udemy, you have Unacademy, you have LinkedIn Learning, you have all of these different learning platforms. Please do your free learning. Nobody's asking you to even, pay.
People.
Learn. What are the first things to learn so that you can avoid what we call as silly mistakes, even though I don't believe in any mistake being silly. Being late for a meeting. You, I, and everybody knows that first impressions are very lasting in nature. They create either a stamp of approval for you or they create a stigma for you, right? And your face is now equal to somebody who comes late. Or you are someone who doesn't listen when in meetings. You're always more enthusiastic to talk. These are power skills or life skills or essential skills. I will not call them as soft skills, right? And learn these. Even if your company doesn't teach you, let's say.
There are many resources.
There are many resources. So use tech. Third thing in for young minds, so that they don't make these mistakes, is early on in life, tell yourself that there will come a time in the fast-paced world that you live in wherein you will be exhausted. You should be able to self-soothe, tell yourself it's all right.
Yes.
Calm down. We have made a mistake. It's not the end of the world. So these are the 3 things I would tell, that it's okay to make mistakes.
Yes. Crisis management and resilience is something which we are elaborating, and that's very necessary because students are very at a tender age when they are getting advice from everyone. They fall out into that okay, I should not have done that mistake, or I should have done that in a way that someone was telling, because the number of advices that are coming to them is numerous, and they have to figure it out that what might work and what might not work, and whereas the result is none of them can work.
Absolutely.
It can be true that none of the advices are applicable for them.
Absolutely, Akash. And the second part that I was going to talk about actually, focuses on what you're saying. While we are talking about what the young minds should do, shouldn't do, learn to do, there is another side to it, right? For example, it's not very recent, and I am not going to take any names. There was this viral video about a group of people getting their annual, feedback as a collective feedback.
Okay.
Everybody was put into the same room, and they were getting verbally thrashed by the manager. My point is that how do you treat your humans in the corporate world? Are they still human resources for you? Do you still count man hours? Or are they human capital for you? If they are human capital for you, you will treat them as assets. If they are assets, you will ensure that you do things so that your capital keeps increasing. Your assets keep increasing. And all of us know, you being from the community that you belong to, that goodwill always comes into the credit, never in debit.
Yes.
Where is your goodwill as a senior in a corporate? A person will only be able to be okay to make mistakes if you allow them to make mistakes. They will only be able to come to you and ask for help if you have kept your channels open. If you don't have the emotional intelligence, you don't have the empathy, you don't have the kindness, you cannot expect your people to feel comfortable with you.
And experiment. That's great. We have to open the doors for them to make mistakes so that they can learn and grow exclusively and maybe exponentially. So, I remember one story from this. There is a famous brand for vehicles, which is Ford. And ever in history, Ford is the first brand to launch 8-piston vehicle. The engines with 8-piston vehicle was discovered or maybe invented by Ford. Why Henry Ford, who was the founder of the company, told that a few engineers you were required to make 8-piston engines, and at that point it was completely out of idea that they were saying that it is not possible or feasible to have a 8-piston in that small engine for more power. And we would always remember that Ford is known for its power. There is more power compared to other vehicles of the same range. And he just made an office in a remote location, asked his 4 to 5 engineers to sit over and think how they can solve the problem. While all of the engineers were skeptical that they would ever be able to launch this, Henry Ford would visit them, ask them, so what is the work going on? And they used to say, we are trying. Next day, what is going on? We are trying. And this went on for years. And the same engineers were taken care of, the salaries were paid, they were made comfortable making mistake. Okay, try, even if it doesn't happen, what would be the problem? But your focus 100% should be on making 8-piston engine. That's my goal. And after an year, we saw that 8-piston engine was possible, and the first engine that was 8-piston was patented by Ford.
Yeah.
And today the industry has evolved into more than 8-piston as well, and more power engines are available into the market. But that story tells us that if we allow our team, allow our people to have mistake, and even accept when they are unsuccessful, that can lead to new avenues into the company or maybe into the organization.
Absolutely. And trust them when they say something which might sound very simplistic to you, but trust them, right? Let them try. If it fails, okay.
Yeah.
But at least trust them.
Yes, definitely. So moving ahead with the next question, you hold several roles as a trainer, life coach, and leadership consultant. How do you manage these responsibilities, and what advice do you have for others balancing multiple roles?
I don't find anything challenging in this, Akash, for the simple reason that, thanks to the universe, to God, whatever name you want to call the entity by, I have been blessed to have recognized my passion, right? So this is my passion, wherein I am helping people gain what they have come to me for. One of the only things that I do, and I'm not just a practitioner, I'm also a certified coach for it, is I have certification for the 5 choices to extraordinary productivity, which is a Franklin Covey training.
Yeah.
Basically, it's nothing but time management, right? One thing and only one thing that helps me manage everything is I don't like juggling. I don't like surprises, in the sense that, of course, there will be surprises in a particular day. But like yesterday when I was speaking to Arpita also, I asked her, can you tell me what the plan is for the 2 hours that I'll be spending with you all? So I wanted her to tell me exactly when it's going to start, what will happen. Most of the things in life are like that, right? So if you have a coaching for life coaching today, then you have a coaching for leadership development, then you have a coaching for communication and behavior coaching. You know exactly when it's going to happen. Please don't write it in your diary. You should have everything in one place. And please use technology. What that means is whatever calendar you use, be it be, I see all Apples here, so whatever the iCalendar that you have, or you use Outlook, or you use Gmail, all of your everything in life should be in one place. Okay, it's very difficult for people to understand this. When you start working, you have to do everything on your own, because seldom you get a job in your location where your mom and dad are going to be around. You have to go somewhere, maybe live in a PG, maybe in a shared space. You have to, for the first time probably in your life as a 22-year-old, buy your own grocery, make your own food, go for an outing with your friends, make movie tickets, so on and so forth. Why should all of these things that I just spoke about not be in your calendar? For example, you're sitting on a Wednesday working. Obviously, it's a Wednesday, so you must be working, right? And 2 o'clock is when the windows open for advance booking of movies releasing on Friday. And it's a huge blockbuster, probable blockbuster that's going to open up. All of your friends want to go, and they've given you the responsibility to book the tickets. So from the time that you've woken up, you're trying to remember, book tickets, 2 o'clock, book tickets, 2 o'clock. Why are you taking up that space in your CPU? If that's just a ping in your calendar, you don't have to remember things, right? So starting from order from Big Bazaar, make food, pack food, go to the cab. Have you seen how many people are late to catch their cabs? and everybody else is sitting frustrated in the cab and obviously silently accusing you, if not abusing you. Right?
Yes.
Why are you late? Because things are not planned.
Yes.
This is not just for young minds, this is for leaders as well. This is for everybody. You work or you don't work. Imagine you have all of your life in a calendar. You don't have to remember anything. So much space has just opened up,
Yes.
right? That's the only thing, Akash, that I do. Every week on Sunday, I sit down and set up my entire calendar.
Yes.
Even right now, if you open my calendar, you will see there are chunks of free time that I have for ad hoc meetings.
Yes.
That's the only thing I do.
So I think this is one of the best advices for when we are talking about technology space. Students and professionals take this lightly. I don't know why. I have a lot of time emphasized in my Instagram stories about how I manage my time, shared the glimpse of calendars that I have. But there is some point where students or professionals look upon is I like unplanned things.
Yeah.
So that is good while you are on a vacation, while you are going for a party. Plans, the micro plans can be a surprise, but a complete plan, I think, cannot be a surprise, because at that time you are just creating a lot of expectations from different people, and then you are trying to be omnipresent.
Absolutely. And you're not God.
Yes.
You can't be omnipresent. You will perish. And that's why in today's world, right, why do you see so many issues to do with mental well-being? Because we are running and we are expecting our minds to also be in the hustle culture that we've brought ourselves into, trying to remember everything that I'm supposed to do. See, you spoke about vacation, right, Akash? Even when you're on a vacation, you might have a few responsibilities. Just because you start living away from home doesn't mean that you don't have a few responsibilities that you have to do. Let's say it's your father's health insurance that needs to be renewed while you're on vacation.
Yes.
Is it going to run in your head?
It has to be noted somewhere.
Exactly. That's somewhere, if it is a list of things to do, who will remind you to look at it?
Yes.
So use technology to your advantage so that you don't have to remember anything. And your mind is now free to actually do the work.
So there is a monk, a mechanical engineer turned out to be a monk. He chose the Indian based format to follow. Like he was a mechanical engineer and he is from Africa. His origin is from Africa, but he has chosen this Indian culture of praise to be a monk. I watch his videos and he was telling this kind of similar thing, where he was talking about how much space we take when we just snooze a task. So if there is a task which we need to do after 3 hours and we are just procrastinating it, saying it, okay, I'll do that again, just because it's important, that's why it is coming again and again in mind. But then you are just, for that particular time, you don't want to do it. So when we have to do it, it would take around 1 to 2 minutes, and we are procrastinating it since a long. So at the end of the day, we are taking a lot of space, a lot of energy for doing a small task which can be done. So he gave one mantra: do it now. So anything which is of less than 2 minutes, don't even put it in calendar, just complete it and rush.
Absolutely.
So moving ahead with the next question, as a 2x, I think 3x it is now.
Yes.
As a 3x LinkedIn top voice and a leader in your field, what are some key lessons you have learned about career growth and specifically personal branding that you can share with our listeners?
Career growth, I think Akash have already spoken about it, that never stop learning, right? That's one of the things that I will say. It doesn't matter who you are. You spoke about, I'm a manager, I don't need to learn. Everybody needs to learn. Everybody needs to keep updating themselves. The fact that we live in a world where nothing is free. If you really want like good stuff, nothing is free, right? So I earn and then I invest in my own learning. People can call it that so many certifications, but certifications is what is the visual stamp for all that I have learned that can be used.
Yes.
So that's from a progress point of view. Keep learning, even if it's not certifications,
Yes.
right? Even if it's free, even if it's from a small child, it's from your leader, it's from anybody, right? Everybody comes with learning. If you have the mindset, you will learn from everyone. I'll give you a story. Back in my Chennai days, I have had the fortune of sitting in an auto where the person who was driving the auto spoke to me in impeccable English. I was taken aback, and the more I spoke to him, the more I realized that this person was an MSc, and he sang the entire periodic table to me. And for me, I just had a lot of gratitude for this person to be doing what he's doing because he has to support his family. There was a learning for me. The learning was of being humble. So you can learn from anywhere, right? The second part of your question, branding. So today, we spoke about it some time ago, right? About Thumbs Up, that the brand sold more than the physical assets themselves. Today, it's not just about brand of products and services, right? You as a person is a brand. How are you creating that brand? There are two ways of doing it. In an organic manner or in a manner which involves some amount of capital investment, right? I can tell you about the first one because I haven't done any capital investment. In the branding, I have done on my own education per se, learning. The first part, which is the organic branding, right? Akash, what I have done is, I'm going to give it out right now. I'm going to use the abundance mentality.
Yes.
How come in such a short span of time, I am a 3-time top voice for LinkedIn? I have just gone ahead and chosen the topics where I go read the entire article, and then to contribute, I come from what I have done. So be it be leadership development, facilitation, or people management. I have done all of these three in my career. So there's a lot of experience that I have. I've gone ahead and shared it, and I've shared it every day. Consistency, right? That's point number one. So be consistent at what you do when you're trying to create a brand. You cannot stop at doing something for one day. I'm going to dress up and I'm going to create a video. It was a fantastic video, but I only did it once. I got 150 likes for it, but I did it only once. After some time, people will not remember it because of the world that we live in. There will be hundreds of other videos that will come of very influential talks. You have to do things on a daily basis. Point number one. Point number two, create your LinkedIn page like your life depends on it. Be very correct about everything. For example, if you want to establish yourself as a English communication trainer, let's say, and I'm going through your LinkedIn page and I find more than 3 English mistakes. Be it be grammatical, be it be spelling. I find mistakes. Will I trust you?
Never.
Similarly, if I'm talking about empathy and then somewhere you read my response on somebody else's post, which is talking about being a snooty person, where is the empathy?
Yes.
So the second point is be who you are. Don't try to portray what people want to see, because sometimes, there will be a point in time when that veil will fall. Right? The mask will fall and you will be yourself. So who are you? Showcase that. And third point in your branding, I'll emphasize on this, that showcase who you are And keep doing that, because people will come to you by looking at who you are. There are hundreds of people, right, who are trying to get business. And I have attended a lot of those sessions. I realized that at the face of it, you're showing me something else. But when I actually attend it, it's something totally different. I've given money, I have trusted you, I will sit through it. I've completed it. But now, maybe I will not even badmouth you. But will I trust you anymore? And if somebody comes and asks me, how was it? I will not lie. I will not go take a speaker and tell everybody that, no, it was not good. But I will not lie. So that's the third point. Embark on a journey that you can continue to go on.
Comfortable on that.
Right? So, and at the same time, take some calculated risks, right? For example, freelance. It was very new for me at a point in time, right, Akash? And everything new makes humans feel a little wary of. Do I want to get onto this journey? What will happen? Take the calculated risks. What will happen? Give yourself a planned approach. Again, I'm going back on planning, right? Give yourself that planned approach. This is what my goal is. Work backwards from there. What is the meaning of working backwards? It's a very Amazonian term. Okay. Working backwards means that if by the end of 2025, I want to achieve 1, 2, 3, how am I going to achieve this? Right? A goal will not be in your calendar. The activities and tasks which help you achieve the goal need to be in your calendar.
The systematic approach.
On a daily basis.
So while we were talking about branding, I get a memory of one of our session. I keep, as per my job, I keep visiting different events which are related to startup, investment, tutor mentor sessions for startups where someone from a bigger company comes to teach us. We were having this session at my incubation, and the person there who was leading this training told the entire people. I think there were more than 100 startups sitting over there, and he was telling the importance of founder fit rather than product fit. So he said that while we are into the phase of where Shark Tank is making a lot of news and people are watching it, they are more focused towards, they are obviously talking about product fit, market fit, whether the product is market fit or not. But really, do we care that whether the founder is fit for that role or not? And he told in the first session only that if you are comfortable in that business, you should move ahead with the product. Otherwise, it's not of use to move apart and tell that, okay, you should buy this product. And when someone obviously asks that what is founder fit and how we'll understand whether the founder is fit or not, he told a simple rule. Go, find your customers and check whether you are comfortable sitting with them, having lunch, having dinner, talking to them about their problems in real time or not. If you are doing a business which is related to transport, whether you are able to talk with the drivers or not. If you are doing a business which is related to salons and spa, whether you are able to talk to the customers facing hair fall issues, facing skin related problems. If you are okay discussing all these all day, then you are founder fit. Otherwise, it's not easy to show commitment to the market that, okay, this person is reliable in this journey.
Absolutely.
So when we tell our story about a brand, and if we show as a founder, we show that, okay, we belong to the same industry. We have done this in that experience. Then we can say that, okay, the founder is fit for this market. So when we are doing a personal branding thing in our life, we should make sure that we are fit for that role. Like spelling mistake while you are doing a communication course, it should not be the case. And definitely while you are doing for an empathy course, you can't talk negative to someone about someone in a public platform at least. So we should make sure that, okay, that aligns with the story we build for the personal branding part.
Absolutely. It's like when people call themselves a leader, right? Every leader has some basics that everyone looks at.
Yes.
When those basics are missing, will you look at that person as a leader beyond their designation?
Yes.
That's to be asked.
The question is itself importance that would reflect back the journey itself. And while we were going through your journey, you were explaining that how you changed your career from corporate to helping the corporates from outside. And leadership role has been very crucial in driving companies, organization, institutions. The culture that it inhabits is of utmost important because it changes it completely changes the way people are looking into the problems. The crises become opportunities, the problems become challenges. So if someone is a leader in the company or they are trying to be in the leadership role, how important is personal branding for them? Maybe for the internal team or the people outside the team, how important it is for them to build the personal brand?
Extremely important, right? Again, going back to the almost the same thing that we discussed right now, Akash. You have to be a walking, talking embodiment of who you want everyone to be by looking at you. So if you say, be helpful, and you're not a helpful person, if you tell your managers, have an open door policy, but your doors are always closed,
it's not possible.
If you expect emotional intelligence from your people, but you are not, you want everyone to be planned and organized, but you don't value time. You want people to take calculated risk. You want them to take onus, but you are somebody who micromanages.
It's not possible.
So your personal branding as a leader, like I said, if you as a person are acting, at some point in time, the act will fall.
Yes.
Right?
The masks will go off.
The masks will go out. So don't act. Be. Going back to Kun Faya Kun.
Yeah.
Be and
it happens.
Who you are, people will see you. You don't have to be Shah Rukh Khan, right? People will see you for who you are. They will admire you. They might not be in awe of you, but they will admire you for who you are. And slowly you will see that you are creating the culture that you want others to follow.
Definitely.
That's who a leader is for me.
True that. Currently, after COVID, I think there is a lot of discussion about work-life balance and how the leaders should take care of their team, how the time should be distributed among the team members, and a lot of questions around that. Do we have any pointers, 3, 4, 5 pointers about leaders so that we can also inculcate this kind of culture in India or maybe outside India if there is an issue? So a pure advice for leaders around the globe, what they can look upon.
Okay, I don't want to be controversial about this, but the first thing I'd like to correct here, Akash, is there is only one life. Work is a part of it.
Yes.
Right? So why does something that is a part of life require for you to balance anything? And hence, the first thing I would say is for every corporate in the world today, stop using the word balance.
Yes.
You don't, because see, just visualize, right? The balancing act of a small girl holding a rod in her hand and walking on a rope. Exhausting. Why does anybody have to balance anything? There are 2 words nowadays which comes up after work life nowadays. One is harmony. The other is integration. Because like we said, you are at work, but in your free time, you will order Big Basket. Integration. You are at home, but there is a call with the US team at 11 p.m. You logged off at 8 p.m. You are integrating work. So you're integrating life and you're integrating work. So integration. That's the first thing, because words are magical, right? They have a lot of power. Second thing is, as leaders, please value what you want others to do. right? There are a lot of people who say this. This is a quote, and I absolutely abhor this quote.
Mhm.
Do as I say, don't do as I do. Right? No,
It should be the reverse.
it should be the reverse. Do as I do. Because your words will matter to me for some time. But when I see you are not doing what you're saying, I won't believe you.
Yes.
Right? So, from a work-life integration perspective, create a culture of how work-life is going to be a part of each and every employee, no matter the level
Mhm.
in that particular organization, right?
Yes.
You have to sit with your human capital leaders, and you have to create that culture from scratch, right? For example, back in the Amazon days, the 5 choices to extraordinary productivity training
Mhm.
in the particular department that I was done for each and every employee. And unlike most of the trainings, it did not start from bottom top. It started from top to bottom.
The leaders have to do
The
this.
leaders started with the training first, so that they have the understanding. They have to create the culture of how time can be utilized better. You cannot manage time, right? It's utilization
Utilized.
of time. So how time is utilized, so that when they are expecting somebody to do something, they already know if it is feasible or if it is not. You know it's not. Then you think about the 4 quadrants of time, and then you put it, is it urgent now? Because if it is, then we have to do something
Yes.
about it. But if it is important, I am trying to push important as urgent, because I want to create that hula boo about things. Calm yourself down, right? How can I do that? Because I already know how work-life integration works. So the top-down approach, right? As a leader for work-life integration, the third thing is, and very importantly, be the walking, talking embodiment of it. Sometimes you as a department head has to say no until and unless it is not a process-specific urgent requirement. And people have to be okay to accept no's from their employees.
Yes.
They also have to inculcate the nuance of being able to put forward what we discussed, a no, in such a way that people don't feel that they are going to lose out on their life. For
Definitely.
example, the department that I used to work for at Amazon, some of the sub departments were crucial to business. I remember one of the leaders was on an annual holiday, and he started getting calls on his office mobile. He was one of the very few people who had an office mobile, which means that it's a very urgent, crucial work that he had related to payments and stuff. It started ringing incessantly, to the point that he had to cut short his holiday and come back. It affected his entire family. But when he came back and we were on a break and we were talking about this, and he said this to me, out of my curiosity and learning, I asked this leader, how did you feel at that time? He had a frown on his face and was like, I disappointed my family. However, I have spoken to my leader. The crisis was contained, even though I had to come back. I am now going to take another holiday. So it's not always that I say, no, I can't do this. Sometimes we have to decide. Sometimes we have to, as leaders, show that a choice, every choice has a consequence. If at that time he wouldn't have picked up the call, it would have gone to his boss, right? But then he is the subject matter expert. The call would have come back to him.
But after an escalation.
After an escalation, the consequence was that he had to cut short his holiday. but the consequence was also that a big crisis was arrested.
So it always depends upon the urgency of the matter that they have to decide upon. And I think the key thing that has to be noted, and I have noted, is integrating the work and life so that you become a part of work and your life together. You solve problems which are on urgent, irrespective of whether it is how it is coming. But at the same time, you also consider the work to be important when the time comes. So you have to decide it in an integration manner, prioritize it based upon the urgency. And while we were talking with some another founders of different company while we were meeting, the person was telling the importance of this work-life balance, and they were because founders always criticize upon work-life balance. They are not happy because the founders have always to say that I work day and night, and that is what I expect from the employees. So a gentleman told that the work-life balance is only talked about till you have a job.
Okay.
When there is no job, you don't say that, okay, after 8 hours, I'll not think about getting a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'll only apply for a job from 9:30 to 6:30, and after that, I'll take a rest.
Mm-hmm.
So while you are not having a job, and then your personal life is affected, and then you don't care about it. But while you have a work, you try secluding it as different work and different life.
Okay, so there is a difference between job and work, Akash.
Yes.
Right? I work, but I don't have a job.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? If we are talking about somebody who is not employed at this point in time and is looking for employment, then looking for employment becomes his work at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, he or she or they need to find the balance, or they need to integrate. They
Yes.
need to sectionalize their life. They can't always be sitting and trying to find out what is the job I'm going to do.
Definitely.
If they don't help with how the home runs, the mindset that you carry with you while you're trying to look for a job is going to come here as well, and there's going to be chaos here as well.
Exactly. So the best solution is integration and prioritizing what is important at that particular moment,
Absolutely.
rather than just putting forward that, okay, since it's a job and there is hours limitation, we can sectionize things that, okay, what is the difference and where I am needed at this particular
Absolutely.
moment.
Planning, prioritizing, delegation, all of these things come under a part of it. If you are somebody who has a family, you don't have to do everything, right? When we were children, both my parents were working. I mean, I have till a few years ago, I haven't seen anybody in my family not working.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was working. We had chores we had to do. So, like, table setting is somebody's business. Ensuring that, laundry is picked up from everywhere and put in one place is somebody's business.
Proper delegation of
Proper
daily
delegation
chores.
so that everything is not one person's headache.
Definitely. So, moving ahead with the next question, while you knew about Wooble, we are trying to create a platform where mentors are there, students and professionals are there who are trying to figure out what they can do. The community enables students to ask questions where mentors guide them,
Right.
and they also have the opportunity to showcase their works in a visually appealing manner,
Mm-hmm.
digitally, and they can also share it with a link. So instead of just a piece of resume, it backs up with a lot of proof of work,
Yeah.
what we say today. What would you say about Wooble, about the Wooble community that we are building today?
I think it's in line with what is the requirement today for workforce. So, in a world where today resumes are being checked by AI first, do you have the right keywords? Do you have the right requirement, be it be graduation or masters or which field or what are the different things that you have done experience wise? All of that is checked by AI. I think when you have a platform like this, it becomes so much easier because everything is titled, everything is in its own place. I don't have to go through a 500-word resume. I don't have to search for, because see, a bio is very different from a resume, right? And a resume is very different from a curriculum vitae.
Yeah.
But when you have a Wooble-like platform, apply your AI, right? With the very basics of what you require, if it's possible. I'm
Yeah.
not a tech person, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And after that, you just have an interview to know if everything that I see here can be confirmed or not.
Yes.
Because the person has spoken, the person has showcased to you the projects. If you have questions about how he worked on the projects, go ahead and please ask, right? If you have curious questions about an adventure that this person has done, you want him to describe, let's say parasailing was written, and you're curious, you want to check how he communicates what he thinks, you can ask him about it, because obviously a video can be rehearsed many times, and you want to hear this person. But most of the information is already there in front of you. You don't then require, I was looking at it the other day, so during my research, I find out all of these things. For youngsters, young minds, trying to get into a corporate, 6 rounds of interview? What for? If you're taking somebody for leadership positions, I can understand that.
For freshers, it's too much.
I've gone through 8 to 10 rounds of interviews. All right, great. You want to have different people check different leadership qualities in you, which can't probably be possible in a video format. Or even if I have gone ahead and written 6 pages, you might be like, am I sure if this person has written it or not? Let me verify that. But 6 rounds of interviews for freshers, I don't get it. I think a platform like Wooble is great.
So what we have planned and what we are trying to do is we have challenges for jobs,
Right.
where the recruiters need to post challenges rather than just the JD.
Right.
And if the concerned person did that job in the effective way, the way they are expecting it, they can schedule upon an interview. So
Makes
the technical part and a lot of questioning part has already been done to filter it out.
Yeah.
Rather than going through resume and then the technicalities and then the HR round, you can just see that, okay, the person is good for the work or not, and then clarify other things.
Wonderful. Yes.
So that's all from our side, and we are expecting a lot of audiences to learn from whatever we have conversed and learn from whatever ma'am has told to the students, to the leaders. I think it is of utmost importance to them in their career journey.
Thank you.
So as a
Thank you so much.
token of appreciation, we want to give this from the Wooblers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.